in Whistle at the Masters of Musical Whistling competition, where virtuoso whistlers compete for global supremacy and bragging rights. We follow an army of quirky personalities and dazzling talents in a film sure to be a crowd pleaser. Whistle is directed by Christopher Nelius, and he has previously directed films such as Girls Can't Surf, and he co-directed Storm Surfers in 2012, and Whistle just debuted at the 2025 Toronto International Film Festival in the TIFF Docs section. Whistle is a pretty delightful and entertaining documentary. It's another one of those documentaries we've seen many times before, where it's a kind of talent or sport or some kind of niche talent, and we're not aware that there's actually professionals in this talent, and there's like a big competition, and then at the end of the film there's a like a very suspenseful competition, and we find out who the winner is. So it follows a very tried and true path of other documentaries like this, but this film is a little bit different in a way that it kind of leans into the mockumentary Christopher Guest type film, because yes, this is real life, but I think the filmmaker and a lot of the participants in this film, they realize how ridiculous this sounds, and and some of the participants, the whistling participants in this film, they are very self-aware of how ridiculous it is, but some of the participants in the film, they are not so self-aware, so they're kind of like they're probably the most quirky and entertaining characters in the film. Among the participants in this film, we meet from Japan, Yuki. He's a regular contender in this competition, and he's always come second in the past, and he really wants to be the best in the world at something in his life. And there's Ayna from Spain. She's a daughter of a circus performer, and she's definitely one of the main participants in this film. And there's Molly, who's originally from Australia, but she's based in Los Angeles now, and she whistled in the soundtrack of the movie Barbie, and she has her own album called On the Lips, and in the film we see like a music video of her like performing whistling, and that's her full-time job. I think she's the only participant in this film. Her full-time job is whistling. So, and there's also Jay, who teaches at a high school in New Jersey. And I don't know if it's just me, because I don't really have an ear for sounds or music, so for me, when they were performing on stage, the whistling didn't sound very impressive to me. It obviously the quality of the whistling is definitely better than like a normal person, I guess. But usually when I watch these type of documentaries, I'm like amazed at what these people can do in these films. But when I was watching this film, I was not particularly impressed even with the top whistling performers in this film. But maybe it's just one of those things where you have to be there to fully appreciate the performance. I think some of these participants, they know they're not that really, they're not going to win, and they know that they're not really that good, so they have to use their star power and presence and their costume to further enhance their performance. Like one of the ladies, she dresses up like this like opera performer, like a ballet opera singer, and then she's all full tilt in a full costume, and she's like whistling, and that's her whole thing. Like she is not the strongest whistler, but she can give a whole full show in other aspects. And as I said before, the film really does lean into the mockumentary type side of the film, because there isn't really a big competition. The film puts the camera on the audience many times before, but it seems the camera is basically focused on other participants, and there's not a really big crowd. It's like there's less than 100 people in watching this competition. So I don't think it's a really big competition, and the film does try its best to raise the stakes, but because it's such a small competition, I think the film is more successful when it leans into the ridiculous and mockumentary type aspects of the film, and that's when it shines. The film does basically solely rely on the personalities of the participants in this film, and those participants do carry the film a long way. But I just wish it kind of focused more on the technical whistling aspects and how these performers make these tunes, and how where they originate from, and how they fine-tune their whistling techniques. And I just wish the film we'll just focus on that a little bit more. I give Whistle 3.5 stars out of 5. This is a pretty superficial but entertaining documentary. The participants in this film are very entertaining and very varied, and not as self-aware as that they wish they were, but that actually adds an element to the film. And I like it when the film really leans into the ridiculous mockumentary type nature of the film, because it does get quite ridiculous at times, but it is very conventional. If you've seen a competition type documentary, you've seen this one many times before, and I wish it kind of leaned more into the technical aspects of the performance a little bit more. But I still definitely recommend checking out this film Whistle, because I definitely found it very amusing and entertaining. Thanks for watching. What did you think of Whistle? Please comment below what you thought of the film. See you next time. Bye.